everybody. I'd like to see you, but I can't see everybody. The birthday speech. Yeah, I don't think you don't get a microphone.
Wait, we can turn his mic down? What?
I think it's off. Matt has done that trick before, I think. All right. First of all, I just really want to say thank you all for coming. You, as a collective, represent every facet of Ted's life. When I had the idea to throw a party, I really wanted to have something joyful on our calendars to look forward to this year. Maybe an excuse to dress up in the middle of a long Wisconsin winter, and a reason to be together to celebrate everything that is good. Apparently there were, 80, 90 of you that also wanted to come to a party, so I appreciate that, and I'm so happy you all could make it. Yeah, give yourselves a round of applause.
Thank you.
This will take a few minutes. It's not that long, but I do have a couple pages.
It looks pretty long.
I'd like to propose. You're going to be the new guy here. I'm going to propose a couple of toasts tonight. So if you don't have a drink, make sure you get one real quick. I'd like to just start by acknowledging the elephant that's been in every room where I've been for the last few weeks, and so many of us have been. We're carrying a lot of weight of a confused, maybe angry, broken heart because of the state of our beautiful country. While our United States have always been far from perfect, there's also been so much to unite us and to be proud of. We have been a beacon of light and generosity in the world. We have protected so many awe-inspiring places. I know many of you have been to our national parks. It's the most extensive public land system ever imagined in the history of our world. We've encouraged scientists and artists, researchers and writers, athletes and students to be their best selves. We have learned from our mistakes to make our air cleaner and bring species back from the brink of extinction. We have supported our own and welcomed others when they are in desperate need. We have studied the systems which keep some of us from thriving, and we've worked to better ourselves through more inclusive, diverse, and equitable outcomes. Much of this work is now being attacked with spite. Some of us have been directly affected by short-sighted or ill-informed tactics. Others of us have been unable to detach ourselves from the unmet needs and the mounting fears of those in our communities. I'm sure all of us spend some time worrying about the legacy we are creating for our future generations. It weighs heavy, and I hope you can lift a little of that weight tonight. Many of you may not know, but we got married just a couple of weeks after 9/11. We weren't sure it was time to celebrate or that we had the right to be so happy at that time. But the human spirit needs love, it needs joy, it needs laughter to thrive. Thank you. We celebrated our surprise wedding over 23 years ago now, surrounded by family and friends. It was actually a smaller group. This is the biggest party I've ever thrown. And we created some joy-filled memories that night, despite the sadness of our country that surrounded us right after 9/11. Tonight, let's allow joy and friendship to lift us up. So that would be my first toast. You're going to hold up your glass because my hands are full. To joy and friendship.
Salud.
And if you are interested in being a resistor and speaking up for others, let me know. My white flower recognizes that I am a resistor. My second toast is for all the moms. All the moms, give us a wave. You're the makers of birthdays. The makers of birthdays. Ted's mom really did the hard work 50 years ago. And many years. There's a lot of hard work for many years raising a charmer like Ted. Coco is the most loving mother and mother-in-law in the world that I could imagine. If you haven't met her, make sure you do tonight. Where are you, Coco?
Sorry.
There she is. Thanks. If you haven't met her, make sure you do. You won't forget her. My mom has been gone for almost 15 years now, but I hope I've shared some of her love with each of you over those last 15 years. For the other moms in the room, I hope you enjoy an extra drink. Have a bigger piece of cake maybe, or stay out a little too late tonight. You deserve it. Second toast to all the moms.
I heart moms.
I heard moms, there you go, all the moms.
I heart moms.
And finally, I'll get on to toasting our birthday guy. This will take a minute. You ready? He is turning 50. You know, that's a lot of stuff that can happen in that time. So give me a minute, okay? Since we have people here from all facets of our lives, I thought I'd tell you a little bit about why he's my one best everything, and about our charm of life together. We met in high school choir 34 years ago now, before Ted even had his driver's license. We were an unlikely match in some ways. Yeah. We once got in trouble for kissing in the hallway, and it would happen to be the day. I know, a little public disclaimer section. It happened to be the day I was dressed up in nice clothes and little heels to go to the Rotary luncheon and be the senior girl of the year. And Ted had his combat boots and his big baggy pants tucked into his boots and his cute little curly hair falling into his eyes. And our history teacher, what was his name? Anybody remember history teacher? Mr. Holcomb came up behind us and just laughed and just said, "Knock it off, guys." But we did get in trouble for that. It was obvious that Ted was turning into the love of my life. Every time I came home from college, I had butterflies driving to see him. And after those 4 years separated, we moved to Boston, and that's where we first made a life together. We enjoyed lots of trips to the ocean and traveled up and down the East Coast. But our Midwestern roots shined through and called us back. We spent a weekend with Ted's grandma, Pat, here in Milwaukee. We miss Pat and Grandma the Great Dorothy very dearly. You can raise a hand, raise a toast to all the grandmas if you'd like, yeah. That weekend we were here, Ted's Uncle Bob. He's the one with the terrible hair, by the way. The one, yes. I don't know who else is already. So that weekend we were here, how many years, 25, 26 years ago, Uncle Bob had just met his future wife, Penny, and we just had such a blast, and we were surrounded by love with all of those family here. We picked up from Boston and moved to Milwaukee literally just a few months later. Ted called up Toner Sales and OTG Table, wave your hands back there. Ted called them up. I talked to Dave. I think he went in for an interview and Dave was like, "We don't have anything right now," and then somebody quit and they did have something like within a couple weeks. And Ted has been there, which is now the Office Technology Group, for 26 years. So thank you, OTG. We bought our aging house.
It's gonna be like a timeshare thing, and Kyle's
Everybody goes home with a sharp copier today. I hope you brought your box trucks. You just can't resist. That's why you don't get your own mic.
You want a mic?
We're getting there. We bought our aging house in Bayview just a year. Oh, geez. A year after we came to Milwaukee. Bayview is where we found a community of caring neighbors and hardworking friends. Julie and Carl and Mark and Natalie are here. Julie and Mark and Natalie have lived there longer than we have, and so they've been our neighbor for 25
Rob's
years.
here.
And Rob Miller lives down the street. Exactly. They have been our neighbors for 25 years. Ted started playing music with Matt and Joe. I think Matt is here. And then Heather shortly after. So Matt and Heather, yeah. Shortly after that. So they've been playing together for over 20 years. And then Ted's brothers, a few years later, started making the trek one by one to Bayview. I then Coco's laughing, Tim, and then Tommy, and then Tyler. All spent some time at our house and then settled on their own in Bayview with their spouses. And now we have two lovely nephews as well. Our nephews Henry and George are growing up Bayview, I like to say, and it seems a pretty awesome place for them. Coco always wanted a family compound, and Bayview has truly become the family compound for us. So while Bayview is our cocoon of family and friends where we always feel safe and comfortable and challenged, Milwaukee has allowed us to grow independently. This is a flawed but very loving city, and it's given each of us a place to nurture our passions. For Ted, that's the music scene. And for me, volunteering our neighborhood, political, and environmental groups. So 25 years later, we have deep roots in our neighborhood and extensive connections to others with our shared passions around this beautiful city. We truly couldn't have imagined a better life or a place for who we want to be. So before we make a grand toast to Ted, I'm going to call out a few more people, and I'm getting close to the end. I'd really like to thank each of you for coming. So our families, Ted's whole family is here. Well, his brothers and his mom and dad are here. So give them a wave. They wouldn't have missed it. My dad came from Florida. I know. He's a Mason and a Rotarian. He can work a room, so don't give him the mic. My sister made those beautiful Tiki Ted cookies, by the way. She came from Indiana. And my brother came from Colorado, so we really appreciate all of you coming. Ted's oldest friends, he's known them longer than me, are also here. Some of them, Pete and Aaron Zamelko, are here. Where are the Zamelko brothers? Thank you. Pete lives in Bayview. We've known them since high school in Indiana, and that's longer than Ted has known me. And I just said, life is long. Thanks for sticking around, guys. All right, this one's fun. All the musicians who have played or done sound for Ted, please stand up. If you've ever played with Ted in a band, or you've ever done sound, anybody who's played with Ted, give him a round of applause. I want you to see what a strong, connected community. Thank you. Thanks for building a music scene here in Milwaukee that is creative, supportive, and really just so much fun. There'll be time if you want to play a tune later, by the way. All right, all my Bayview peeps. Where are my Bayview peeps? Everybody in Bayview, thank you. We have some Pumpkin Pavilion folks here, some of my Tillers, my Neighborhood Association board members. And we work really hard, but we also have a lot of fun, so thanks to all of you. And to all of our friends along the way. Maybe we first chatted at a party, we met at a show, maybe it was even when we saw your kids play, maybe we met through work, volunteering, a mutual friend, or spouses, however you came into our lives. Thanks for being our friends, sustaining us with your love and laughter. Special shout out to my planning committee, Catherine, Renee, Paula, Matt, Bradley, Howard. They all helped me, the ladies in that group helped, we've had a couple of meetings, there's been a lot of wine and cake involved. And then Matt and Bradley and Howard, I know, are gonna entertain you tonight in a little bit. All right, I know I talked for a while, but let's get ready to toast our 50-year-old man of the hour, Darla's favorite guy.
She's on the napkins.
She's on the napkins, yeah. And my one best everything, to Ted.
Thanks.
Are you going to talk?
Oh, yeah.
I'll make an announcement when you're
Yeah,
done.
this will be short. No, thanks. Sir, I'm not stupid. I knew a thing was happening. The scope of it, perhaps, I did not know. But I knew you would not miss the occasion to recognize this accomplishment. If that's what it is, I'm in. And when you consider the alternative, I'm glad to be here too. But I'm not going to flatter myself. Everyone here is here for the same reason I am, which is Krista made plans for us, and you don't really have much say in the matter. I don't really have. I have. I've never done this before. I mean, being 50, I don't really have any advice. But the best, worst advice I have to anyone is if someone asks to be in a band, say yes.
Cheers! Salud.
All right, thank you all. So what's going to happen soon? Maybe Bradley, could we give everybody like 10 minutes to get settled for trivia? No. No? Yeah, okay. So we're going to do trivia. We'll put on the playlist for a few minutes, and then we're going to do trivia. We'll make sure you get answer sheets and pencils or pens. If you don't want to play trivia, that's fine. You can hang out wherever. But if you want to play trivia, make sure you're in this room. And we'll start that in about 10 minutes. All right, thanks everybody.